Good morning. Today we're diving into a major healthcare breakthrough that could impact millions of Americans. This development is not just a small step, but a giant leap in the fight against obesity. Obesity is a chronic disease linked to heart disease, diabetes, and cancer. It affects nearly 40% of adults in the United States, leading to severe health complications and a reduced quality of life. For years, diet and exercise were the main advice, but they're not always enough. Many people struggle to lose weight despite their best efforts, leading to frustration and despair. Recently, a new class of medications, GLP-1 agonists, has changed the conversation. These drugs work by mimicking a hormone that targets areas of the brain involved in appetite and food intake. Originally for diabetes, these drugs, like Wegovy and Zepbound, have shown remarkable weight loss results. Patients have reported losing significant amounts of weight, which was previously unattainable through diet and exercise alone. But their high cost, over $1,000 a month, put them out of reach for most. This financial barrier has been a significant obstacle for many who could benefit from these medications. Insurance coverage was spotty, and Medicare didn't cover them. This left many patients in a difficult position, unable to afford the treatment they desperately needed. Now, that's changing. A groundbreaking deal between Novo Nordisk, Eli Lilly, and the US government will slash prices. This agreement is set to make these life-changing medications more accessible to those who need them. This isn't just a discount, it's a fundamental shift in how these drugs are priced and accessed. The new pricing model aims to ensure that more people can benefit from these treatments without the burden of exorbitant costs. The announcement made this Thursday has sent shockwaves through healthcare and brought hope to millions. It marks a significant milestone in the ongoing battle against obesity. Let's break down what this means for patients, companies, and the future of obesity treatment. This new chapter could redefine the landscape of healthcare and offer a brighter, healthier future for many. The US government has struck a landmark deal with Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly, two of the biggest names in the pharmaceutical industry. This agreement aims to dramatically lower the prices of their leading weight loss drugs, Wegovy and Zepbound, which have been in high demand due to their effectiveness. The formal agreement changes the pricing structure for these medications, especially for government programs like Medicare and Medicaid, which serve millions of Americans. For the first time, Medicare will be able to access these drugs at a much lower negotiated price, making them more affordable for seniors who rely on these medications. The deal also benefits cash-paying patients, who can now get these drugs at reduced rates through specific programs designed to make healthcare more accessible. Negotiations were tough, involving multiple rounds of discussions. The government aimed to address public outrage over unaffordable treatments, while the companies saw a chance to reach a much larger market by lowering prices. As part of the deal, both companies will receive a 3-year relief from certain tariffs, which will help offset some of the revenue loss they might incur from the reduced drug prices. This agreement marks a major policy shift, moving toward transparent, accessible pricing for high-demand drugs, setting a precedent for future negotiations. It directly helps seniors, low-income individuals, and the uninsured, groups previously left out of such benefits, ensuring that more people can afford the medications they need. The full impact of this deal will unfold over time, but it is already being hailed as one of the year's biggest healthcare stories, with the potential to change lives. Let's see what this means for your wallet, and how it could potentially ease the financial burden of healthcare costs for many families. What do these price cuts mean for you? The difference is dramatic. Previously, patients paid $500 to over $1,000 a month for Wegovy or Zepbound. Now, prices will range from $149 to $350 per month for those on government programs and for cash-paying customers using specific channels. For example, Zepbound's net price for government plans will be about $245 per month. Cash-paying patients can get the starter dose for $299, with higher doses at $449, still a big drop from before. Novo Nordisk is matching these reductions for Wegovy. The goal: make cost less of a barrier and open access to millions who were priced out. These prices will be available through government plans and the new Trump RX website. Cash patients will use manufacturer programs or savings cards. The era of $1,000 a month obesity drugs is ending for many. This could change household budgets and lives across the country. Why would these pharmaceutical giants known for fiercely protecting their profits, suddenly agree to such steep price cuts? The answer is more complex than it first appears, involving a mix of market forces, regulatory changes, and public scrutiny. Competition from generic and copycat drugs was rapidly eroding their market share, threatening the dominance these companies once enjoyed. As patents expired and new players entered the field, the pressure to stay relevant intensified. By lowering prices, these companies can better compete with generics and ensure that patients continue to receive authentic, FDA-approved products. This move also helps build trust with healthcare providers and patients, who are increasingly cost-conscious. But perhaps the biggest incentive is access to the massive Medicare market, which was previously off-limits for obesity drugs. Gaining entry to this government-backed program opens the door to millions of new potential customers. The companies are betting that lower prices will translate into far more prescriptions, especially among seniors who are most likely to benefit from these treatments. This could mean a dramatic increase in overall sales volume. Public and political pressure also played a significant role. High drug prices had become a symbol of America's healthcare cost crisis, sparking outrage among patients, advocacy groups, and lawmakers alike. By making this deal, the companies position themselves as part of the solution, not the problem. They hope to improve their public image and avoid further regulatory crackdowns. The 3-year tariff relief sweetens the deal, cushioning the immediate revenue hit from lower prices and giving companies time to adjust their business models. For Novo Nordisk, this agreement offers a path to stability after recent market challenges and helps secure their place in a rapidly evolving industry. For Eli Lilly, it cements their competitive edge, expands their reach, and positions them as a leader in the next wave of obesity treatments. This is a strategic pivot, accepting less profit per prescription in exchange for access to a much larger market and the potential for long-term growth. Ultimately, it's a long-term play for dominance in obesity treatment, signaling a new era for both the industry and the millions of patients who depend on these life-changing medications. How did Wall Street react? Initially, not well. After the deal was announced, shares of Novo Nordisk dropped 3.7%, hitting their lowest point since August. Eli Lilly's stock also dipped 2.7%, despite recent gains. Investors worry about short-term profit drops when blockbuster drugs get cheaper. For Novo Nordisk, the price cut added to existing market uncertainty. For Eli Lilly, the dip was a correction after a strong run-up. The market's gut reaction: lower prices mean lower immediate revenue. But many analysts are looking past the short-term dip. The real story is what happens when Medicare coverage kicks in and sales volumes surge. The initial stock drop is just the beginning. The long-term outlook could be very different. Analysts see this as a smart, necessary move for both companies. While there's a short-term sales hit, the long-term potential is huge, especially with Medicare access. The obesity drug market is shifting from niche, high price to mass market, high volume. This deal also helps the companies fend off future price regulation by showing they're willing to negotiate. It solidifies Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly's dominance, making it tough for new competitors to break in. By locking in a government-backed market and setting new price standards, they've strengthened their duopoly. The future of obesity treatment, and these companies' profits, looks bright. Let's look at what's next for patients. This deal isn't just about today's injectables. It covers the next generation of weight loss pills. Both companies have oral medications in late-stage development, and the agreement sets their starter dose price at just $149 per month. This price will be available through government programs and the TrumpRx website from day one. The FDA is considering expedited approval, with new pills possibly arriving as soon as next year. Eli Lilly's orforglipron could be approved by March 2026. Novo Nordisk's pill may follow by year's end. Including these pills in the deal ensures future treatments are affordable from the start. For patients, this means more convenient, accessible options are on the horizon. The future of obesity care is about to get even more promising. For millions, this deal is life-changing. Affordable access to effective weight loss drugs can improve health, reduce disease risk, and boost quality of life. Widespread use could lower national healthcare costs by reducing chronic disease rates. Doctors will need to manage increased demand and ensure responsible prescribing. Monitoring for long-term side effects will be crucial as more people use these drugs. This agreement marks a shift, treating obesity as a chronic disease, not a personal failing. By making these drugs affordable, the deal helps destigmatize obesity treatment. It's a cultural and medical turning point for America's health. In conclusion, this agreement is a turning point in America's fight against obesity. By making GLP-1 drugs affordable, it removes the biggest barrier to access cost. For companies, it's a strategic bet on long-term growth and market dominance. For patients, it means breakthrough treatments are now within reach. This deal could become a model for future drug pricing negotiations. It shows government and industry can work together to solve big health challenges. The journey isn't over, but the future of obesity treatment is brighter and more hopeful than ever. We'll keep following this story as it unfolds.